Thank you for joining day 4 of my 2-week virtual home buying seminar. Tonight we will be discussing credit scores you need for buying a home in today's market. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's start with different loan types that are available. We'll start with FHA loans. There are many types of FHA loans, but generally, FHA loans require a minimum of 3.5% down. Typically, the minimum credit score for FHA loan is 580 or higher. But with the current COVID situation, some institutions are now requiring a minimum credit score of 660 or higher. Of course, each lending institution is different, so you'll want to double check with your lender to verify what the minimum credit score requirements are for that particular institution. Another form of an FHA loan is the FHA 203K loan. This loan is a renovation loan, and similar to the FHA loan, has a minimum down payment requirement of 3.5% or 10% if your FICO score is below 580. Unfortunately, we are in an unprecedented time with the COVID situation, so it's best that you speak with a qualified lender that can advise you on the best loan type for you. Next, we'll talk about VA loans. VA loans typically require a minimum credit score of 620 or greater. There are some institutions that will accept a credit score of 580. VA loans are typically for those veterans that have served 90 consecutive days of active service during wartime or has served 181 days of active service during peacetime. Also, if you have 6 years of service in the National Guard or Reserves, you may also qualify for a VA loan. The greatest benefit of a VA loan is there is no down payment requirement. It's best to connect with the lender that's knowledgeable about VA loans before you move forward with the purchasing process. That's if you're a qualified veteran. Next are USDA loans. The minimum credit score for a USDA loan is 640 or greater. USDA loans are provided for those that are purchasing in rural areas. The great thing about this loan is that there is also zero down payment requirement. Next, we have the conventional loan. The minimum credit score requirement for a conventional loan is 620 or greater. Of course, the higher the score, the better. A credit score of 740 or greater could get you a better mortgage rate. The minimum down payment requirement for a conventional loan could be as little as 3% down. If your down payment is lower than 20%, you will have to pay private mortgage insurance. Private mortgage insurance protects the lender if you should default on your mortgage in the future. In the majority of cases, lenders check your FICO score for mortgage qualification. FICO credit scores are based on 5 distinct factors that carry varying weights of consideration: payment history, credit utilization, credit age, credit mix, and new inquiries on your credit. Now let's review credit score ranges. Scores between 500 and 579 are considered bad credit scores. Scores between 580 and 619 would be considered poor. Scores ranging between 620 and 679 would be considered fair. Ranges between 680 and 699 would be considered good. Ranges between 700 and 799 would be considered very good. And a score of 800 or higher is considered excellent. Please keep in mind that your approval depends on the lending institution's minimum guidelines. So no matter what your score is, please be mindful of the steps that we recently reviewed. 1. Pull your credit report at least once a year. You can obtain a free credit report by visiting annualcreditreport.com. 2. Check your credit regularly. You want to check for any derogatory marks that have been added to your credit so they can be disputed. 3. Limit any applications for new credit in the 3 to 6 month window before you buy, since inquiries can knock a few points off of your score. 4. Get in the habit of paying your bills on time and use issuer and calendar alerts to keep track of payment due dates. 5. Work on paying down existing balances on your credit card. Also, keep older credit accounts open and don't close any accounts that still have a balance, as they can hurt your credit utilization ratio. If you do have items on your credit to dispute, be prepared to write a letter of explanation for any negative items on your credit report. Give yourself as much time as possible to work on improving your credit score, ideally 6 months to a year before you start shopping for a loan. Don't wait until the last minute when you might end up losing that dream home. So that wraps up tonight's discussion. Tomorrow, we will talk about how getting approved for a home loan requires your participation. I want to thank you guys for joining tonight's seminar, and I will chat with you guys tomorrow. As always, if you should have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Also, please follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Kalila Adams CEO for more information on the home buying process. Thank you.